So joining me now is New Plymouth Mayor Andrew Judd. Tēnā koe. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Kia ora.
So interesting. Whatever your point of view on this issue, the word racism and separatist, or words racism and separatist seem to be bandied around. Why is your stance not those things?
Look, this isn't about racism. This is about coming together. This is about inclusion. This is about finding a space where we can, as a community and a country actually, move to a better understanding of each other.
It puts you in a bit of jeopardy though, doesn't it? You won with a huge majority, but this could cost your job.
Well, potentially, but it's not about an individual. This is an issue that's actually live for all of us, not only today but for our future. So it's not about the individual, it's about becoming, as I say, a place where we can grow together.
What's the response been?
Well, I've had a lot of positive support as well, but there is, fair to say, some not so positive.
What sort of things?
Well, just that it's, again, separatist, it's undemocratic, you're causing division.
But it's gotten a bit personal too, hasn't it? I mean, you had some incidents in the supermarket, I hear.
Yeah, there is that as well. But again, look, I say to people, you've got to see past me as the mayor, as an individual, because what's in your heart, for us as a community.
Has it been disturbing for you though, the reaction?
It's quite sad. It's quite sad to hear that stuff in this day and age, to be honest. I mean, it's particularly around children and each other. Because that's ugly, and we're better than that as a country. We have to strive to be better than that. Why
are you standing for this?
Look, I truly believe my journey so far as mayor I've come to realise the disengagement for Māori at the decision-making on councils. That's not right. It has to be put right, and I firmly believe the right thing to do is to engage and have Māori there permanently.
And you want to see a law change. Tell us about that.
Well, as it stands, councils who resolve to have a Māori ward seat go to a petition which then goes to a poll. That's a binding poll. No other ward that we create does that. That is not fair. That's separatist in itself. Every 6 years this debate comes around for a community to argue with itself. Let's get past that. And I say to the Crown, step up to the mark and show us that you're serious about honouring the treaty through council level. It's no different to what happens at government, but at that local level. In fact, we're required under the Local Government Act as council to engage with tangata whenua in a meaningful way. So if they're not at the table, how can that occur?
What's the response been so far from government?
Pretty much at hand's distance to me, pretty much shoving it around.
A hand rather than an arm's distance?
Well, even an arm, yeah, it's true. Look, I say to the Minister of Local Government, come on, fix this. You need to legislate so that communities can get on with the job of coming together, celebrating those differences.
Why do you think the ability to publicly vote down a Māori ward exists where it doesn't with any other ward?
I don't know, and that's what I'm challenging the Local Government Commissioner and the Crown on. That to me is so divisive and unnecessary, because ultimately then the majority decides what engagement with councils for iwi becomes. That's not right, that's not fair at all.
So, I mean, I have to ask you though, I mean, at the end of the day, do we want to provide spaces for people who perhaps aren't the best qualified for the job? Are we just providing seats for Māori to sit in, or are we providing spaces for the best people to sit in?
Well, for me, it starts with that engagement, as I say. We have to start somewhere, because at the moment there is nothing, and nothing just doesn't work. I can't, as a council, meet my obligations under the Local Government Act, let alone the treaty. So let's start with a position for Māori, and then, of course, there's the process allows if you're on the Māori electoral roll, you get to vote for who you see as the best person that reflects your cultural values and beliefs. So
what does it look like in your mind?
Ultimately, for me, actually, would be legislation on our standing committees, where it's wider and deeper. Hapu and iwi can have greater representation. I often say to people, if you think of the treaty, I can't see anywhere there where it talks about proportional representation based on population. A treaty, and any fair person is actually, or partnership is 50-50. We're only looking for one here at the moment, and so what's the issue? Why is there fear? Let's start and let's be serious. Actually, a government needs to show that it's serious about its commitment to the treaty.
And your hopes for success?
Absolutely. Look, this doesn't go away. A mayor can come and go, but the challenge remains for all of us.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. That's Andrew Judd.